Hello, welcome to today's class. How are we doing? A very good and rainy afternoon for some of us. Let me know if it's raining where you live. Hi, today we are going to do part 2 of the IELTS speaking test. For those of you who are new here, my name is Asmita, your IELTS mentor here at Vedantu. Alright, so we've already done part 1 of this where we practice different speaking prompts for part 1 of the IELTS. Today we're going to do the same thing with part 2. Now, as you know, part 2 is also known as the long turn, and this is the part where you get a cue card and then you have to talk about it at length. The reason why it's called the long turn is because you're talking for 1 to 2 minutes at a stretch. So today we are going to practice 4 different part 2 prompts and we're going to simulate what it's like in the actual test. So we are going to give ourselves 1 minute to take notes and 2 minutes to actually speak about the topic. I'm going to do the same thing with you. I gave a set of 10 topics to a friend of mine who was kind enough to pick 4 out of the 10 and make a random list here. So even I'm not aware of the topics that we're going to get today. So it's a surprise for me as well. And I am going to attempt it like you are. Alright, so I have not come prepared per se. Okay. Oh, it's a torrential downpour here. My, must be. Which part of the country are you in? Hi, Fahim. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Sumit. Okay, so first things first, all those of you who wish to get some form of guidance as you're feeling a bit lost with this whole study abroad process, if you started researching, you might know that there are so many things to keep in mind, so many different factors, and it can be an overwhelming process. If you want help, if you want just basically not just a nudge in the right direction, but pointed feedback for everything, including your SOPs, your LORs, which university you should apply to, which scholarship to apply to, how to ensure that you get your visa, keeping track of deadlines, etc., etc., then admissions counseling is vital. It's crucial. So make the most of it. You're getting it for free here. All you have to do is fill out this form. All right. Now, the speaking part 2. Like any other speaking part, the criteria remains the same. What are the 4 things that are being assessed? Quickly tell me the 4 things being assessed in the chat. Meanwhile, I'm just going to write down the basics of what this part entails. So it is your long turn. You will get a cue card. The questions on the cue card will typically start with describe or talk about. Okay. You get 1 minute to make notes. And you have to speak for 2 minutes. The examiner can stop you at any point. The examiner can stop you whenever, but you will never be expected to talk beyond 2 minutes, right? So 2 minutes is your upper capping. You will never be expected to talk for longer than 2 minutes, but the examiner can stop you even at the 1 minute mark, maybe at the 50 seconds mark. All right, so don't get caught off guard if you're stopped by the examiner. Chances are if the examiner has stopped you early, it's a good thing because they know that you can easily talk about this and they just want to move on to the next part to challenge you a bit more. All right. Sion, that's one thing. I know you know all the others. You out of all people should know all the other criteria. So, when it comes to assessment, I can never tell if what I'm making is straight. So I'm just gonna go with this, right? What are the 4 things that are primarily being assessed? Very good. So it's fluency and coherence. It's not just coherence, it's fluency and coherence. What is your vocabulary called? Lexical resource. Then you have grammatical range and accuracy, and finally you have pronunciation. Okay. These 4 criteria are used throughout the IELTS speaking test for each part 1, part 2, part 3, and at the end the examiner sort of gonna give you a band for each. So like for fluency and coherence, they might give you, band 8, but for lexical resource, maybe you get a band 7. For grammatical range and accuracy, again you get a band 7, but your pronunciation gets a band 8. What will be the total band of the candidate if these 4 individual bands are assigned for the 4 different criteria? Quickly tell me, what will be the final band of the candidate for IELTS speaking if these 4 individual bands are assigned? Quickly. Hi, Yuvraj. Interesting. Very good. Not plural, singular. 7.5. What are we going to do? We are going to take the average. So we are doing 8 plus 8 plus 7 plus 7 divided by 4, which equals a band 7.5. Alright, so that will be the total band. Now you can either get a half band or a full band. Right, so you can get 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5 and 9. We won't think about below 6 because none of us are going to get a band below 6. Okay. Alright. So in case you end up with something like 6.33, then it will get rounded up to 6.5. Okay. And if you get something above a 6.5 like a 6.7, it will get rounded up to a band 7. Is that clear how the band system works? So you are getting a band for each of these criteria throughout your speaking test. You have to ensure that you get a high band for all of these. Now again, because of the limitations of YouTube as a platform, I can only read what you're typing. I cannot hear you. So I cannot assess your pronunciation. That's something you need to do on your own. Okay. Now keeping all of this in mind, let's look at our very first prompt. Here is a typical part 2 prompt. What is it? Let me see. Describe an How do you pronounce this word? There are 2 different ways of pronouncing it. Advertisement. Advertisement. Which of these is correct? Anyway, describe an advertisement that persuaded you. Persuaded you means convinced you to buy a product. What are you supposed to talk about? What advertisement it was? Was it shown on TV, radio or newspaper? What was good about that ad? And explain why you think that advertisement made the product seem attractive. Okay, so these are the different topics that you need to touch upon. Okay. First, okay, let's play it out for you actually. Let's see.
Advertisement.
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 So these are both acceptable pronunciation. Can you hear?
Advertisement.
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 Advertisement. For me, it's easier to say advertisement. So I say advertisement. But
Advertisement.
if you're saying the stress changes. So when we're saying advertisement, the stress is on ties. Advertisement.
Advertisement.
Advertisement, right? But if you're saying the tisment pronunciation, then the stress moves to the first part of the word. Advertisement. It's in the ver. Advertisement.
Advertisement.
So the ver is the stressed part. All right? What did you write above? Yes, advertisement. 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 For me, I am used to saying advertisement. Advertisement. But it's actually advertisement, but advertisement also works. It's understood. Okay? So this is what I'm saying. Syllable stress is important. To be able to pronounce things accurately, you need to know which syllable of the word has to be stressed. Okay? Alright, now keeping all of this in mind, I will in fact give you more than 1 minute. I'm giving you 2 minutes. I want you to take notes and basically I want you to answer all of these points. Okay? So what you're going to tell me in the chat, what I want you to tell me in the chat is first product name, then where you saw it, which medium. Okay, first point. Second point, why was the ad impactful? And what else do we have to talk about? Why was the ad impactful? Why was the product worth buying? Okay, why the ad was impactful and why was the product worth buying? These are the things I need you to tell me quickly in the chat. I don't want a long answer. I just want these basic notes. I am basically teaching you how to structure your notes so that it acts as a good skeleton for you to follow while talking during the part 2. See, if you have to talk for 2 minutes straight, obviously you're going to add a lot more details. Okay, you're going to go off on a tangent here and there. But if you have a skeleton, you always know that, okay, I have to come back to this point. I have to come back to this point. Otherwise, if I go off, you've heard some uncles, like my dad also does this, and it's mostly uncles, I feel. But when they tell stories, especially when they're telling you stories about their life, they will start talking about something and they will end up talking about something totally different. They cannot come back to the point of what they were saying. One thing leads to another, one thing leads to another, and suddenly they are talking about something totally different because they go off on a tangent. When we are talking continuously, we also tend to go off on a tangent. So our notes bring us back to the point, which is why taking effective notes is very important. The 1 minute you get to take notes, do not write full sentences. You have to write short versions of everything. If you waste your time writing full sentences, you will not be able to form your basic structure. The point of the notes, what is the main point of the notes? You have to form the full basic structure of what you're going to say. The notes need to be short. Only you should be able to read or understand the notes. All right? And the notes should give coherence and fluency to what you're saying. How it gives you coherence is, you know you're going to talk about this first, then this, then this, then this. that gives basic coherence to the entire structure of what you're saying. Alright? Okay, now just I'm giving you 2 minutes on the clock. 2 minutes, you have to give me everything, just how Space Arc has written things down. I want all of you to do it. 2 minutes on the clock. Your time starts now. Okay? Quickly. Everybody. Yes, sorry Tanmay. You can, I'll try to remember next time. But if you can change your username, that also works. Okay. What about the rest? What's taking you so long? Giving notes here shouldn't take that long. Okay, so product name was your Samsung tab. Where did you see it? On a YouTube ad? Why was the ad impactful? You told me why the product is impactful, Tanmay. You said it has a big screen, which was beneficial for online classes and it was budget friendly. But why was the ad impactful? That part is missing. This part is missing. Why did the ad compel you to buy it? Rest of you, where are your notes? This is the easiest part. I want your notes. Come on, quickly. What are you taking so long for? And Tanmay, quickly add your why was the ad impactful. Third point is missing from your notes. None of you were compelled to buy Labubus by seeing them online. Oh wow, Tanmay, very good. So tech savvy you are. Quickly changed your username. Quickly tell me why the ad was impactful. See, you can say something like, the ad highlighted the features of the tab that appealed to me. For example, in the ad, the screen size was clearly shown. Maybe in the ad, they showed a person actually taking an online class or studying online, and you instantly related to that. And you realize that, okay, this is why I also need a tab. And if this is one of the features of the tab highlighted in the ad, that means it will be of use to me as well. Okay? Maybe your favorite celebrity was endorsing the product. Okay, your product, Sion, was a headphones. Headphones always plural. Okay? Headphones always come in pairs. So headphones will always be plural, never singular. Okay, the ad listed out the features of the headphones very clearly. You can say I'm sort of an audio geek and I like to know different features of headphones that a normal person would usually not pay attention to. The ad very systematically you saw print ad or a okay, yeah, so very systematically talked about the features of the product, and that's why. No, why are you saying sorry? My job, stop saying sorry. Your job is to make mistakes. My job is to correct you, okay? There's nothing to apologize here for. We're all just doing our job. Okay, so rest of you, boo for not actually giving me the notes. Okay, very good. Yuvraj has given me the notes. Hauser pan is very... Pen, not pan. What is this word that you've used? Variable. What does that mean? That's not the correct spelling. And what are you trying to say? I'll give you a better word for it. Okay. Very good, Tanmay. All right. Okay, very good, Sion. Yes. So now let's do the same thing. I am going to quickly put on a timer and talk about this. I also did not know what the topic was. So now I'm putting on a 2-minute timer. All right. And here we go. So a product I bought recently by looking at an ad was a portable keychain retro camera. Now I saw this ad while doom scrolling on Instagram, and I know that Instagram purchases can be quite impulsive. So the first time I saw it, even though I really wanted to buy it, I sort of put a check on myself and decided, no, I'm not going to impulsively shop, especially through Instagram. But because I clicked on the ad once, consequently, it ended up showing me the Instagram, the algorithm works in such a way that it ended up showing me that ad every time I was scrolling on Instagram. So one fine day, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go to the website and check out the specifications of the camera. Now, the first thing that appealed to me was the fact that I did not have to carry my phone to be able to take pictures. The one thing that bothers me the most during my time off is that people still try to get in touch with me for work-related things, and I need a clear demarcation between my professional life and my personal life. So I usually try to not carry my phone around when I am going out with friends or family. So this camera helps me take pictures and record moments and memories without having to take my phone. Secondly, it had that whole nostalgia feel because it was so small, light and portable. It obviously wasn't a very high resolution camera, and so the picture quality was like that from my childhood, which made me feel very warm and fuzzy on the inside, quite honestly, and it took very aesthetic pictures. What appealed to me about the ad was the fact that they showed the picture quality as it was. They did not lie about the resolution, and I think the entire appeal of the camera was the fact that it gave you nostalgic images. That's my 2-minute time. So now I'm just going to quickly wrap up. So looking at the nostalgic retro picture quality, I was completely drawn in, and after purchasing the product, I felt like it was totally worth it. It was so easy to carry. It was not, you didn't end up doing anything else on it like you would on your phone. You picked up the camera to take a picture and that was it. And I'm very, very happy with the purchase. It was not that pricey either. So I would honestly recommend it to everybody. Okay? Yeah, I think it was worth the money, honestly. See, for me, in your childhood, you guys had good quality cameras. My childhood, we had... Actually, when I was a teenager, we had digital cameras with good resolution. But when I was a child, the resolution was exactly like the one provided by this mini camera. So it gives very aesthetic, you know, the Polaroid filter sepia type fields, which I really like. So I think it was worth the money. And it's so small and cute. I'll show it to you one day in some live session, okay? Alright, so that's the end of this topic. Let's move on to the next one. Describe a very in brackets, very intelligent person you know. You should say who is this person, when and where you first met them, what this person does in life, and explain why you think this person is intelligent. Alright, very interesting. Quickly, in the notes, I want these 4 points. I want these 4 points in the notes. It's not a DSLR. It's very small. It's this big. It's like a keychain camera. You can put it on your keys. All right. Quickly in the notes, I want these 4 points. This is going to be fun. This is such a fun question. I'm excited to see what you all have to say. Don't say my mother and my father. Please try to come up with something interesting. My mother, my father, my teacher. No. Some interesting, cool experience. Quickly, don't overthink it. You have 1 minute. Hi Elliot, how are you doing? See, you have 1 minute only to prepare for 2 minutes worth of speaking. If you take this long to think about what to say, then you won't be able to answer the questions. You will fail in part 2. Come on, you have to be fast. First thing that comes to your head, start working on that. Don't waste all of your time thinking about whom should I talk about, whom should I talk about. For example, I am looking at this question for the first time. Like I told you, I made a friend pick out some questions and I gave her 10 cue cards to choose from. And she has not chosen from those 10 cue cards. She has given her own questions only. So I am also seeing this for the first time. Okay, very good, Tanmay. He was a boy in your coaching. You met when you were in... So instead of standard 10, what did I tell you? You can use the word grade. When you were in grade 10th, he was in the top batch and I was just below his batch. Means if I was 1, then he was 2. He had cleared all the Olympiad in 10th itself. So you have to explain this a little bit more so that you can say our coach was divided into batches based on performance. So all the high performing students were put in batch 1 and then it followed suit. So he was in a batch above me and he was quite intelligent and gifted. He had cleared all the Olympiads in class 10th or grade 10 itself. Oh, but he was very arrogant. Tanmay, here instead of rude, along with the word rude, actually you can use the word arrogant. Okay, he was very arrogant and a show off, and he left no stone unturned to demean others who couldn't score as much as him or couldn't score as high as him. Very good, Sion, but see, the point is you all have to highlight something. Oh, it's intelligent person. I read interesting person. Sorry. My bad. Okay, intelligent means you are answering correctly. For some reason, I read very interesting person, you know. Okay, very good. Your maths teacher, met him in high school. He was very friendly and he was the most intelligent person you knew. Why was he the most intelligent person you knew? Could he compute really fast? Could he solve unsolvable equations? You have to give some reasons, okay? A lot of super intelligent people I've met in life have also been a bit arrogant, I feel. Okay, what about the rest? Yuvraj. Quickly. Not buyed, Tanmay, bought. Bought. And they didn't buy him, they offered him. You can say in class 10th, a coaching offered 11 lakh rupees to this boy for him to come and study in their coaching. STF_gaming. Yes, absolutely. You just have to work a little bit and you can definitely take the IELTS and also get a good band. If you're planning next year, then you have a lot of time to improve your English. Don't worry. Okay, Yuvraj says, Pradyuman Singh Rathore is an amazing friend. When you've met him for the first time in my childhood, this person has inspired me because he is very genuine and a genius person. So not only is he a genius, he is also a very nice guy, and that combination is rare to find. And so you really look up to him and he inspires you. Alright, when I'm giving you grammatical corrections in what you have written, please pay close attention to those corrections. I'm giving you those corrections so you realize where you have made a mistake. So when I'm reading out your response, I am correcting it simultaneously. Make sure you are listening to the corrections. If possible, write them down. Okay? All right? $11 lakh per topper. They offer that much money. So much money, no, in coaching. Sad. All right, let's look at the next question now. Quickly, describe a person you know who loves to grow plants. Who is this person? What they grow? Where they grow them? Explain why they enjoy growing plants. STF Gaming, see, no class can guarantee that you will improve your English because that is something you have to do on your own. And it's not something for which you have to read books or study. It's something you can do just by making a few lifestyle changes. For example, if you watch television, YouTube videos, etc., make sure you start watching English language content more than you watch Hindi content or whatever your mother tongue is. And then just make these small changes. The more you listen, the more you surround yourself with English, automatically your English will start improving. And that is a much better way to improve your English language than mugging up grammar rules, mugging up vocabulary. That's not going to help you. If you watch cricket, make sure that the commentary is always in English. Don't switch to Hindi commentary, okay? Elliot, very interesting answer, but lots of spelling mistake. To be honest, I gravitate towards intelligent people. Instead of saying I like intelligent people, you say I gravitate towards intelligent people. I enjoy their company, and inadvertently I end up making friends who have above average intelligence. I had a friend, tell his name, who was a genius, and the way he used to code was absolutely insane. The first time I met him was during a hackathon. I am also interested in coding, and the way he coded blew my mind, and I wanted to learn his method and what he did, and that's how I befriended him, okay? STF gaming, it entirely depends on what your language level is. Everybody takes different time. It also depends on how much effort you are willing to put into learning English. If you really शिद्दत से जिसको कहते हैं कोई करना चाहता है तो वो जी जान लगा देगा तो वो जल्दी कर लेगा. जो हल्के में कर रहा है उसको टाइम लगेगा, है ना. So 12th का लड़का, I don't know your name, sorry, but हम लोग ये नहीं बोलेंगे loved to do gardening. We will say loved gardening. To do is not necessary here, okay? My father always loved gardening. Moreover, growing vegetables, flowers and fruits was the highlight of his day. He prefers to grow. See, the problem with your answer is कि आप tense shift कर रहे हो. You are going from past tense to present tense, past tense to present tense. Either stick to past tense or stick to present perfect tense. Okay? My father has always loved gardening. Growing vegetables, flowers and fruits is the highlight of his day. He prefers to grow vegetables which can be utilized. He usually grows vegetables which can be consumed by us, and thanks to him most of our produce in the kitchen is totally organic and pesticide free. So you can add this a little bit. You also have to cover the other two. Where does he grow them? Why does he enjoy growing them? Okay. My father loves to plant saplings. Tanmay, plural, saplings. And loves में apostrophe नहीं होगा. My father loves, Loves, no apostrophe required, to plant saplings in our backyard whenever he gets time off of work or whenever he has some free time. Instead of watching television, he prefers to spend his time in nature. Myself, I am a person who loves growing plants. I grow plants in the roof of my house. I've made a mini terrace garden. We call that, what do we call it? When you plant something on the roof of your house, it's called a terrace garden. So I have a mini terrace garden. I love taking care of my plants. Okay. I mostly grow flowers because they look beautiful. Even though they might not have the kind of utility that fruits and vegetables do, I just really enjoy caring for them. They're so delicate, they're so beautiful. I love to see them bloom. They also remind me of the transient nature. So you can become deep also about the transient nature of beauty itself. How during the flowering season, my garden is full of colorful flowers, but during winter, we have to be patient. Even though there are no beautiful flowers there for me to look at, that doesn't mean I stop taking care of the plants. Because for the plants to be able to bloom in spring, I need to make sure I'm taking care of them through the winter. And this taught me a good lesson for life as well. That there are going to be high points and low points in my life and in everybody else's life around me. But my love can never be conditional. I have to love and support myself and others through their low times as well. Just like I care for my flowers when they are not blooming. So you can connect this to a deeper thought also, right? Yes, we have regular live classes. Not a natural person, Yuvraj. You are going to say my grandfather is a person who loves nature. Natural person का मतलब कुछ और ही हो जाएगा. Unnatural person क्या होता है? हम सभी natural people हैं, है ना? जब रोबोट्स बनने शुरू हो जाएंगे तो अब शायद हम उनको अननेचुरल पर्सन वर्सेस नेचुरल पर्सन बोले, जैसे अभी हम इंटेलिजेंस वर्सेस आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस बोलते हैं ना. तो नेचुरल पर्सन कुछ नहीं होता है. आप बोलोगे कि माय ग्रैंडफादर इज अ पर्सन हु लव्स नेचर and he prefers growing his own fresh vegetables rather than buying pesticide ridden vegetables in the supermarket. He grows vegetables in a small garden in the house. Okay, very good. In my case also, I think it would be my dad who is really into growing vegetables. So if I were to answer this question, I would say something like, one person that I've seen sort of fanatically take care of plants in my house is my dad. Even though we haven't always had a lot of space, he made use of whatever little patch of land we had to grow plants. Not only does it give him a sense of purpose, he's nurturing life, taking care of something, but it also beautifies our surroundings. I think plants add a lot of positivity to a space, and the fact that he has a green thumb. Okay, a word here that you should all know. A person who can grow plants easily. हम कहते हैं ना, कुछ लोगों के हाथ में ही कुछ ऐसा है कि पौधे उनसे बड़े अच्छे से उग जाते हैं और उनका ख्याल रखेंगे तो वो खिल उठते हैं. We have a name for this. It's called having a green thumb. So you can make use of this. So my father definitely has a green thumb, right? He has brought a lot of dying plants back to life. And when I was in my new plant mother phase, I bought a lot of plants that I couldn't care for adequately. I didn't realize that all plants have different needs when it came to sunlight exposure and watering. And so I was very, very sad to see most of my plants dying. I thought I'd failed as a plant mother. But that's when my dad came to the rescue, and like anything he touched magically just started blooming. And from him, just by observing him, I eventually learned how to take care of plants, how to understand the individual need of each kind of plant. You can't really just go into it taking something for granted. You have to understand the nitty-gritties of whatever it is that you're getting into. Gardening is also a science that requires a lot of research and a lot of experience. And so it was a pleasure just watching him care for the plants and learn from him. Okay? Next slide, you want me to speak in a full American accent. Challenge accepted. Okay. Last question. Describe a comedian that you think is very funny. Be very careful about what you say over here. Okay? I don't want any of you to get cancelled or arrested. Okay. Who the comedian is, where they usually perform, who likes to see the comedian, and explain why you think this comedian is very funny. Interesting. I have two in my mind actually. Do you guys watch a lot of stand-up comedy? STF Gaming, very good. My grandfather is a farmer and he's growing vegetables and fruits since he was 40. Moreover, he also knows better. Very good. Very good STF Gaming. And जिनके बाप दादाओं का खेती का काम था वो तो कितना कुछ बोल सकते हैं इस question में. We come from a predominantly agricultural society. So for us, growing crops is not just a hobby. It's our livelihood and we take it very, very seriously. Okay, so you can say something like that as well. All right. Hola, Juan. ¿Cómo estás? Sion, you don't watch comedy at all? Very boring person. Alright guys, come on. This shouldn't be that hard. Good afternoon, Vijay. Little late to class today, but that's okay. Favorite comedian? Tanmay, I told you, be careful, don't use controversial comedians. Samay Raina has been cancelled. Try, Sion. Some comedy you must have seen at some point. Juan, Don't get me in trouble. You get in trouble, that's fine. I'm not gonna get in trouble because of you. Okay, if I were to answer this question, let's see, who's my favorite comedian? I like Varun Grover, number one. Recently, Biswa posted some stand-up that I really liked. And I don't know if you guys were old enough at that time, but there used to be something called pretentious movie reviews. Have you heard of this? This pretentious movie reviews? It was like a YouTube series where Kanan Gill and Biswa used to come and review movies in a very funny way, and they usually picked up movies that were cringe and weird, okay, and they used to roast. It was like a form of roast comedy for the movies, and that blew up. YouTube तब ज़्यादा लोगों के पास नहीं होता था. It was a very people who had internet at home, good access, little privileged टाइप के थोड़े जो बच्चे होते थे उन्हीं के पास इंटरनेट एक्सेस इतना फ्रीली होता था. सो कुछ लोग देख के फिर उसके बारे में बात करते थे, एंड देन जैसे जैसे इंटरनेट एक्सेस बढ़ता गया, एवरीबडी स्टार्टेड वॉचिंग इट, एंड दे बोथ ऑफ देम बिकेम अ phenomenon. Like they became extremely popular, at least with my generation. Yeah, you can talk about an international stand-up comedian as well. Talk about Indian, you can talk about international. I don't watch Kapil Sharma show. I don't like Kapil Sharma. Controversial opinion, but I find the comedy there to be extremely cringe. I don't like it. बहुत cringe comedy लगता है मुझे. Wow, very good, Sion. What a great answer. Comedian Charlie Chaplin, great. He used to make people happy just by, and he also was political. Charlie Chaplin was mimicking Hitler at the time. So, and he was turning Hitler into a caricature, which was so ahead of its time. Very nice. Charlie Chaplin is a great pick for a comedian. There's also Seinfeld. What are the OG comedians? You can talk about Hindi film comedians also, like Johnny Lever. Who else did comedy? Rajpal Yadav. All of these are comedy actors. You can talk about them. You have to answer all these questions, not just the name of the comedian. You also have to say where they usually perform, who likes to see the comedian, explain why you think this comedian is very funny. Kader Khan. So for where they usually perform, you can say that he mostly appeared in Bollywood or Hindi cinema, and he was a part of films. He didn't do stand-up comedy. So here topic-specific vocabulary is what? Stand-up comedy versus film comedy, slapstick humor, crude humor, dry humor, political humor. These are the different kinds of comedy genres that people sort of ascribe to. You can talk about some real comedian also, some influencer that you follow who's funny. So then they perform on Instagram Reels. Very good. Yeah, roast comedy is a genre of comedy. So you need to make sure you know this topic specific vocabulary. Dark humor, yes. So here is a little bit of homework for you. I want you to give me topic specific vocab for comedy. I need at least 6 words, okay? I need at least 6 words in the comments, alright? Okay, so if I were to answer this question, I'd probably say my favorite comedian at the moment is Varun Grover. I think I've always gravitated towards intellectual comedy, although, I can laugh at some crude jokes and, roast content for a cheap laugh or two, but that's not the kind of stuff that I really get into or follow. So Varun Grover, the thing I like about him, he's very intellectually inclined. Everything he does has a deeper message, including his comedy, and I feel like that genre of comedy is very hard to first commit to and secondly do justice to, because you have a very niche audience, so you don't have that kind of mass appeal, so it can be considered unsustainable by a lot of people. But also the fact that you have to not cross that thin line that makes you preachy. So you have to still be funny, breezy, have a message, and not become preachy or sanctimonious. And I think Varun Grover does that perfectly. He is also a writer and a director, but most of his directorial ventures and writing work is serious. So the comedy that he does is mostly through stand-up, and all of his stand-up, they have subtle political messaging, subtle, like a critique on society, and even after you're done watching the entire set and you're done laughing, it still leaves you thinking and makes you reflect upon the current nature of Indian politics and society at large. So that's why I like him, and I think he is absolutely hilarious. I totally relate to his style of comedy, which is very sarcastic, witty, and like I said, niche, so not a lot of people get it. He is a lyricist, but he also does stand-up comedy. I would highly recommend his stand-up comedy. You can go watch it. Okay, so here is your homework. Oh, I promised an American accent. Okay, I'll do it for the question. So what you have to do is you have to describe a comedian that you think is very funny. You should say who the comedian is, where they usually perform, who likes to see the comedian, and explain why you think this comedian is very funny. So that's a very normal American accent. Alright, so this is your homework. If you don't do it, I'm going to be very sad. I'm going to show up in your dreams, actually not your dream, in your nightmares. And I'm going to come and scare you if you don't do this homework. Okay, that's my warning. So you better leave these 6 words in the comments. And if you don't subscribe, then you are going to get endless nightmares from me. Okay, so make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video, share it with your friends. Follow us on Telegram so you don't miss out on updates. And I will see you next time. Till then, take care. Okay? You don't have to speak. See, I lived in America, which is why I'm able to speak like this. You don't have to speak like this for the IELTS. Please stick to your accent for IELTS. Please, please, please. Okay? All right. I will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Yes, absolutely, STF Gaming. You can see me tomorrow. Radhe Radhe. Bye-bye.